Hi, here we're going to take a look at the different power units that are available for the NX I/O system. The power lines in the NX unit are separated in two different lines. One is the unit power, which are supplying the internal electronics of the NX units, and the one is the I/O power, which are the power that are being sent in and out from the different I/Os. The two power lines are separated in order to make it possible to make a complete separation between the power going to the units and the I/O power. And this is to mitigate potential EMC problems. And in order to do this, you need to have two power supplies connected to the unit. I'm not just saying this because I come from a company that sells power supplies, but this is actually something that can help you a great deal with mitigating EMC on your machine. First off is the unit power. The unit power can be separated with the use of the PD1000. Now the PD1000 separates the unit power line and starts a new one. Each PD1000 can supply up to 4 amps into the rail. When you have your project in Sysmux Studio, you can see when you design your I/O system, then you might get this warning underneath. And you can see it tells you that there's insufficient power and that you need to add another power unit. So you simply search and then you add the PD1000 into the mix. So this means that now we have here from the CPU is supplying the unit power, but out here I have my PD1000 and this means it separates here and the rest here is on a separate power line. Like the PD1000, we have the same for the I/O power. They are just called PF. So PF 630 or 730. The difference between those two is that the 630 can deliver 4 amps and the 730 can deliver up to 10 amps to the rail. But the same thing, it separates the I/O power line and starts a new one. This can be used not only if you exceed the amount of amps on the power line, but it can also be used to create different voltages or different segmentation of your I/O, again, in order to mitigate possible EMC problems. Unlike with the PD1000 for the unit power, the software cannot predict how much draw there is on each I/O unit. So for the PF unit power cards, you need to keep a track of this yourself. But you can add them inside the software, just like the unit power. You search here for the PF card and you have the 730 and the 630 and you can add them into your line. If you use your NX I/Os on an I/O coupler, the I/O coupler itself has both the unit power and the I/O power connection on the initial termination. For the CPUs, however, you only have the power supply for the PLC itself on this terminal here. So in order for you to supply your I/O units, you need to add a PF unit in front here. So again, if you're using one of the PLCs, that can be the NX1P2, NX102, and the NX5, then you need to add a PF card in front in order to supply your I/Os. For the last type of unit, we have the PC units. And the PC units are meant to help you terminate your wires next to your I/Os. So these 3 units, we have the PC10, which is all ground connections. We have the PC20, which is all voltage connections. And then we have the PC30, which is a mix of both ground and voltage. So you use them next to your other I/Os. So here I have an example. So this unit out here is an I/O link unit, and you can see there's plenty of terminals for all the wires. But the unit next to it is a 16-point unit, and here you only have the either in or outputs. So in order to terminate your voltage and ground connections, you can add this PC unit next to it, so you can terminate in the ground and voltage terminals. So this was a short run through of the different power units for the NX units.